y'all. It's me, Chris with Paz Lifestyle, and today we're going to be talking about how good is your protein, the biological value of proteins. Are you ready? Let's begin. First, when you hear protein, what comes to mind? Now, for most people, we think of some type of protein powder or brand of a supplement or things like that. So let's get into it and try to change your idea on that. First and foremost, I like to emphasize that supplements are not the focus of this article. This article is to talk about the biological value of protein that you find in your food and why we need it. So, if you're looking for supplements and protein supplements, this is not the video for you. So, anywho, let us continue already. So, let's go into the different types of protein and how they affect the body. It's worth noting that the protein you get from supplements and the protein that you can find in food are almost the same, but we want it more from food rather than those supplements. The only exception is certain powdered proteins that are well isolated and absorb more quickly than others. These are specific protein powders created for professionals, for athletes, people with certain goals in mind. Supplements are designed to complement and improve your diet plan, not to be only your diet. The supplements will help with your protein, help increase your protein intake if you're not getting enough protein, especially if you're a vegetarian and things like that. So, as you probably already know, your body is technically a big protein-based biological machine. Aside from water, protein is the most common element we see in the body, and more importantly, it regulates a variety of vital processes. In a sense, protein can be considered a building block for most of our tissues, enzymes, and hormones. However, not all protein is created equally, meaning that protein coming from different food sources will be metabolized by your body slightly different. And that depends on the structure of the protein, how well it's created, the function of the protein, and so much more. Protein's biological value is used to determine how well they are absorbed and preserved by the body after consumption. To put it quite simply, the biological value of protein is used to demonstrate the efficiency of a consumed protein. Now, there are two primary means or measures that help us understand more about the biological value of proteins. First, we have the amino acid profile of each protein containing food. For those of you who do not know this, protein are made from amino acids. That is their building source, or they're pretty much their basic source combined together, and you get the protein. There are 20 amino acids, 9 of which are essential for us, meaning that the body needs them but can't produce them on their own. That is to say that the more complete a certain food's amino acid profile is, the higher its biological value. So if it has a high amino acid profile within it, that means the protein value is great for your body. The lower it is, it means it might not have that many benefits from your body, and you might have to find a way to supplement that. The second measure that is taken into account is of the biological value of proteins is protein retention, or in other words, how long the protein is able to stay in our body. So now we're going into the BV standard, or the biological value standard. In nutritional science, the biological value of proteins goes on a scale from 0 to 100. Whole eggs, both yolk and egg whites, are the standard for the biological value of proteins, measuring at 95 to 100 BV. So if you're looking for that high value of protein, have some eggs, pretty much is what I'm learning. With that being said, if you take the yolk out of the egg, the biological value drops with 5 to 10 points, down to 90 or 95% of that BV standard. With whole eggs being the golden BV standard, other foods are compared to them in order to determine the bioavailability, as opposed to the optimal quality protein, whole eggs. So they use eggs to compare other foods with protein to see if it meets the standards of your body's needs. It's pretty cool. Side note, Whey or isolation protein supplements have a BV of 100 plus. So you have to be careful with this when taking protein powders because you could be over consuming protein, which could kind of counter the benefits of protein intake. There is such thing as too much, unfortunately. Now, this theoretical information is important, but it is important. Our next important logical question is, what are these best protein sources? Here's a list of high biological value proteins with sources with the most common protein you can find on the market nowadays, including foods and supplements. Number one, we have whey isolate protein blends, which have a BV standard or a biological value standard of 100 to 150. That's quite a bit, so be careful with how much you're taking. You don't want to overtake it, but it is good if you are a pro or an athlete or you're focusing on muscle building and growing those muscles and things like that. Next, we have whole eggs, which has a BV of 100, which you already know because we just went over that. They use eggs to compare other protein sources to see if they meet that standard. Next, we have cow milk with a BV of 91. Then you have egg whites, which reduces it to a biological value of about 88, 90. And then we have fish with a biological value of 83. If you don't like fish, we have beef, which has a biological value of 80. So fish is 83 and beef is 80. If you're not a red meat eater, chicken surprisingly has less than beef, but is still pretty good with a biological value of 79. Then you have casein, which is a type of protein that you can take as a supplement or it's even found in certain foods, and it has a biological value of 77. You also now have rice, which is not only good for carb intake to give you energy, but it has a BV standard of 74. So I did not know that before writing this, but it's cool to know that not only can rice give you the energy for your next day with carbs, but it has protein in it for your muscles. So now I don't feel as bad as eating so many salad rice bowls and things like that. Next, we have soy, which has a biological value of 59, which I'm kind of surprised because soy is supposed to be very healthy and good for you, especially if you're lactose intolerant. So, pretty interesting that it's almost half the BV standard for your day. Next, we have beans and legumes, which has BV standards of 49. That is also, excuse me, bless me. That is also pretty surprising to me. I thought beans was all protein and legumes was all protein, but apparently no, it's only your biological value standard of 49 for the day. So you'd pretty much need to have like 2 or 3 of those servings for one egg. That's what I'm pretty much getting my math at. Next, we have peanuts, which has a biological value of 43. It may vary for different nuts, but peanuts are at 43. I'm not really sure the specifics of other nuts, but the biological value is roughly in that area. Now, what does this little chart mean for you of all these things that we just went over? These are your primary sources of protein that should be the ones on the top of your list that you eat every day because they have a higher biological value. So those 12 things we just named are things that you should be constantly consuming for healthy, good protein for your body with great benefits. Nevertheless, you can combine one of those 12 items or a variety of those 12 items with lesser bioavailable sources of protein, such as plant protein. So if you're a vegetarian, you can combine some of those sources on top, like protein powder, casein, and things like that, with your plant protein to get your biological value standard that you need for the day. Ultimately, your best bet is to put a couple of food sources at the core of your protein intake, while also diversifying with a variety of other food sources. This means, for example, myself, I love eggs and I love chicken. So every day I try to incorporate eggs in some way and chicken in another, whether it's a salad or rice bowl or a chicken sandwich, an egg sandwich, or boiled eggs in my salad, things like that. So those are definitely at the core of my protein intake. This may be different for you. I also am a protein powder user on my muscular days when I'm doing pole fitness and pole tricks and my muscles just need that extra protein to rebuild what was broken down. So find your core protein sources that you like and you can have multiple times and be creative with it and not get bored with it. Now, into our conclusion on the value of proteins. The biological value of proteins, or the BV, tells us more about the amino acid content of each food, as well as how long its protein is retained in the body and how efficiently it is used. So remember, the higher the BV percent, the better it is for your body. It's kept better inside your body. It's used more effectively, and it's better for you ultimately. Animal sources of protein appear to be more superior due to the better amino acid profile within their proteins, as well as overall bioavailability. As you'll notice, a lot of like fish, eggs, beef, chicken, they're all on the top of that list that I gave you compared to other sources. This is why, if you are not vegetarian or vegan, foods like beef, eggs, fish, and chicken should make up the majority of your daily protein intake. So remember that, all right? That pretty much ends our video on how well is your protein, the biological value of proteins. I hope you enjoy this and learn something for it. It is important information, especially in regards to nutrition and muscular strength. If you're a person living with HIV, this helps with keeping your muscles growing and things like that, which is awesome. There are very few side effects from medication, but there can be some side effects which affect your muscles. So this is a good source to learn about protein and building those muscles and keeping them in good shape. Again, you can find the link to this blog post and read it in the description below. It'll have more information for you. And of course, please hit that subscribe button. You don't have to watch or listen to everything, but it is a big support and it does help me a lot. I create content on nutrition, health and fitness, positivity, HIV, and of course, music playlists, which I love and I think are fun. Like I said, don't have to listen to everything or watch everything, pick and choose, but hit that subscribe button and show your support. If you like what you saw or you want to see more, if you have any advice or comments, please feel free to leave a comment down below. And also, I have 2 freebies which I think you're going to like. All you need is your email. The first one is an ebook called Eating Out, and it's going to help you track your macronutrients and your calories while eating out. So you don't have to be afraid anymore if you're on a diet or trying to eat healthier and you want to go out and enjoy a delicious bite to eat that's not home cooked. It's a great ebook that will help you get started on healthy eating outside of your house if you're on the go. I'll also add another link for the second freebie, which just came out on the Mediterranean diet. It's a wonderful ebook that's going to give you the basic information, some basic recipes on starting a healthy, fresh food Mediterranean diet, which is amazing for you. So check out those links below. Again, they're free. All you need is your email. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And most importantly, please take care of yourself. Stay healthy. And we'll see each other next time. Alrighty? For more videos on healthy living, positivity, or living with HIV, please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel below. I also do music playlists if you rather that. So hit that subscribe button. Stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you.